For more insight, we're joined in the studio by Associate Professor Wang Xinsong from Beijing Normal University. Well, Professor, in recent years, President Xi Jinping has proposed a global development initiative, the global security initiative. Now, it's the global civilization initiative. Would you take a holistic view at the timing of those initiatives, especially the latest one?
Well, the timing is very critical because China now is very much integrated into the global governance, and China is very active in contributing to global governance. So this newly added proposal called the Global Civilization Initiative is a new add-on to the previous two initiatives you just mentioned, but the principles and substance of the Global Civilization Initiative has always been upheld by the Chinese government in its foreign relations with the world. It represents China's worldview toward global affairs, particularly respect of diversity of civilizations and sovereignty of nation states. So I remember in the 1990s, there was a very prominent American scholar talking about clash of civilizations. That represents another view of another part of the world. But in China, we're talking about diversity and respect and mutual equality of civilizations. So President Xi Jinping was talking about promoting dialogues and exchanges at the people-to-people level. So all of that is going to help with a better and peaceful global order.
Now, looking at the very content of the Global Civilization Initiative, we know modernization is a driving force in shaping at least recent human history. And talking about modernization, President Xi Jinping said, and I'm quoting, "Modernization is neither an exclusive patent of a small handful of countries, nor a single answer question." So what's the Chinese answer?
Right, and like you said, modernization is part of the, I guess the mission of civilization of any kind in the world. And the Chinese modernization represents the Chinese view toward global affairs, especially on the mutual respect of sovereignty. But it also represents another worldview, which is to strike a balance in development. So the Chinese path to modernization, if we really look at it, represents Chinese efforts to strike a balance between economic growth, but at the same time social equity and economic development versus the respect of natural environment and so on and so forth, but also respect of global peace and other countries' sovereignty, while national interests of any countries should be guaranteed. So that calls back to the Global Civilization Initiative, where we talk about the mutual dialogues and conversations across civilizations, because you cannot try to boost up one country's security by sacrificing the security interests of other countries. So overall, this represents a Chinese thinking to what modernization is, and there isn't a conventional modernization or westernization that can dominate the development of the diversified civilizational advancement in the world.
Now let's talk about the very word global. That means the whole world should be this process. As you just mentioned, China will not enforce its own values or practices onto other countries, but as the world's second largest economy, the world's largest developing country, how will China participate together with other countries in this process?
Well, through communication, dialogues, but also very importantly, China needs and will continue to open up both its market and also its mindset to the entire world. And China benefited a great deal in the past 40 years by opening up to the global market and to the global thinking market as well. For example, we were not hesitant to borrow ideas, principles, and models and the practices from the West. But this is not saying that we're trying to become a Western country. Of course not. I think the Chinese success, is especially because China is able to borrow best practices from across the world, at the same time embedding all these practices into the Chinese national conditions. So this is where we are, and this is what we are promoting in terms of model of development, which is there's no one-size-fits-all model, but rather we in developing countries all need to seek our own unique ways, unique pathways to modernization.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Wang Xinsong from Beijing Normal